All right, guys, we're up on the roof and we're going to take a look at this roof. In the back here, it didn't look too bad. And I did reseal over the seams. But I don't know if it's from the light or from the roof, but we had a leak in this corner. Somebody had already replaced the skylight. It had leaked around it. And back here, it feels pretty good. All this back here, not too bad. But when you get up here toward the front, still pretty solid. This is all delaminated. The entire front section of the roof. And from what I can tell, it looks like it is the pylon that is delaminated, not the plywood. So what we're going to do, we're going to go around this roof. You can kind of just see, look at it, just completely loose. We're going to eliminate this old satellite dish. We don't really use it anymore. We use cell signal. We also have a leak in this corner, and I have sealed it and temporarily fixed it, but you know, it's getting underneath that front cap, so we're going to have to do that. So we're going to pull all this roof off and replace it. So sure does get dirty quick too, doesn't it? All right, so when I get back, I'll get set up and I will show you. I will tell you that, you know, at the time when I bought it, I did not do enough research and was looking for leaks inside and looked at the roof, but I didn't look at it, didn't walk the whole roof. And so this come up with a situation where I've got to replace it. All right, when I get set up, I'll send you another video where we're at. Okay guys, I got everything taken out here, and I just thought I would show you that on the top up here, this side here is in bad shape, and you can kind of push up on it. So I'm going to put a little support up under here so that as I'm walking on it, it'll stay up in place and it won't move. Okay guys, you can see I added in the support. I'm going to use to hold that in place while I stand on it. And that should carry the load, and hopefully when I replace the plywood, it'll make it stronger. Okay guys, this is the first day, end of it. We've got everything off. Air conditioned, vents, back cap, and we got the front cap off. I will tell you, that front cap was on there, but we're good to go. And tomorrow we'll start working on the removing the pylon and start replacing plywood. All right, let's see what happens tomorrow. Okay guys, we have pulled off all the pylon and exposed the Luan paneling, and as you can see, I'm not sure if it's condensation, but it definitely got some water leaks in. Some of it has run back along the foam from the back cap. I also found that although here was pretty good, except there was a leak there and a leak around the skylight, I think the main culprit leak was around this light in the front. And from the looks of the plywood, it's delaminated from the foam and from some of the FIPON, but I think it's water. And I think what's happening is the water, when there's a leak, runs along the foam, because you know it's going to run down that way. I could be wrong, but it's what it looks like to me. Is it runs along the foam and then starts delaminating the roofing system. And you can see here, I mean, it's come, but you can see how wet it is. So it's been soaking wet, and my guess is it can't get out once it gets in there. It just stays wet. Now this is pretty dry, but I had replaced that vent 6 months ago. In fact, I replaced both vents in the air conditioner. And I think that helped dry it out. But I do believe that it was water intrusion that created the problem. And then once it got started, it just, it was just everywhere. I didn't pull all this off because you can see there was a lot of water damage in this area. And I think it's running along the styrofoam through the board, soaking it up like a sponge. Although I don't exactly know why they use odd-sized pieces in some of this, but we got some pieces that I haven't measured it yet, but they don't look quite 4 foot. I don't know if they just pieced them in or what they did. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is get started replacing all the Luan. I'm going to add 1/4-inch Luan instead of 1/8. I believe it'll make the ceiling stronger. And I'm also going to do a couple of little extras, and I'll share them with you on the next video. One more thought I had about this Phylon and plywood Luan leaking. If this is the back where it's attached to the foam, and you can see where the water came through, and it looks like it had quite a bit of glue. And if you look real close, you can see some of the styrofoam. Of course, it wasn't attached very well now, but I kind of thinking that the water is creating the problem. It just goes to show, if you watch any of AZ's experts videos, James, checking your roof for leaks. You can't even see these leaks. I mean, these leaks are coming and there's no sign inside of these leaks. And I believe what happens is the smallest of leak gets in there, and then you end up with a bunch of problems with it delaminating. Now, I'm sure there might be some glue issues too, but there's definitely some water situations. You got to really be careful. Okay, guys, here's my first panel. I sprayed the adhesive on it, and I used that Stay Bond. Let's see what it is. 183 red. Good for foam. Also, I didn't show it to you, but in that little track there, I ran a new cable while I had the roof off for a 360-degree camera. So I think that'll be a good accent for the extra for the coach. All right, I'm gonna put it down, roll it out, and I'll show it to you when we get done. Okay, guys, here goes the last sheet. Let it set up. We're gonna flip it over, and that will be the last sheet for the replacing all the sheeting on the roof for the Winnebago. Okay, guys, that's it. That's all the sheeting replaced. 1/4-inch Luan plywood, much better than the 1/8. Made it much stronger, and I think that's going to turn out good. Tomorrow we'll put on the fiberglass, and hopefully we do a good job on that. Okay, guys, we have finished putting on the new roof on this Winnebago Sunstar 26HE. I just finished putting it in, and we've got to put on the caps and stuff, but we've got everything pretty well done. I actually did some extra flashing on the edges. I got everything tucked in. See if you can see that. So it's tucked in down the way. It turned out really good. We didn't have much problem. All the plywood, of course, from the other video you could see was just gone. And I took and sealed the back here. See if I can show it to you. All along the back, so in case we have any water get back there, it'll be sealed up. So I got all that sealed up, and we got all the ends tucked in. Now I've got to put the caps on and cut out everything, and then I'll seal it, but that's where we're at. Good morning, guys. As this is, I'm putting the cap back on and putting the screws in. You can see where I put them in. That one up in the corner, not doing too much, but I put it in. You can see some of the flashing rolls over the edge of the wall. I kind of got that all the way around. Sorry about this. And got it all sealed. You can see all that silicone right down in the front of the cap there. That thing is something. So we ended up with that. So that takes care of the inside, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next here in a little bit. Okay guys, I finally finished it, about 5 days, and we have replaced our Winnebago roof with new Phylon, 1/4-inch Luan plywood, and it's turned out really well. I've got a little bit of lap cement to do up the front cap and this transition where it comes in and around my TV antenna. But other than that, I'm done. I just ran out, so I'll have that in a few days. I'll take care of that. But everything turned out really well. I got all the sides sealed. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's some trash still down there, but they're all sealed up. So we've got everything done. I also, if I can show this to you, I made sure we left a gap. You see where the water's running off from the air conditioner? Before, that was caulked up tight and running into the edge of the cap. So I have made to make sure we got like a 1/2 inch to where that won't happen. And the Phylon now runs further back up underneath, so hopefully we won't have any more trouble with that. Of course, we got our new lights on there, antennas replaced. We did the same thing on this side. We have a gap between them. We replaced the skylight, was aftermarket, and we put a new Winnebago skylight. I've got to touch up the lap cement. We had a bad storm, and the tarp I had up under here fell right into the lap cement or lap sealant. And of course it happened about 20 minutes after I did it. You know how that goes. So they're good. But I have to say, I think everything turned out pretty well. You know, I think it worked out really well. I will say the front cap was the most difficult to come off and on. The plywood wasn't too bad. And I did some extra stuff, which I'll show you in another video. It goes to the inside while I had this apart. But it turned out really, really well. It's very strong. I did support it while I was doing it. So I did that, and I had put these max air vents on 6 months ago. I took them off and redid them. So I redid all that. So, but it turned out really well. A gracious amount of work, but I think it was well worth it. I only had help actually putting the front cap back on and the Luan down. The Phylon down. And the Phylon, in my particular case, I mentioned this earlier, was cut to fit on the width. So we had to be dead on the money as far as doing that. If we got off very much, we didn't have any excess to cut off. We just had to go with it. And so back here, what we ended up doing on this part, we glued 3 foot down, made marks down the center, glued 3 foot down, and then rolled it out. Of course, we had rolled it out ahead to make sure it was good, and it worked out. We got within 1/8 of an inch. So anyway, that's the Winnebago roof replacement on a 2014 Winnebago Sunstar 26HE. I will say, and I've heard this over and over again, but checking for leaks is really key on these Winnebagos. I mean, I believe in my particular case, and I don't know if this is with other Winnebagos or not, that the leaks delaminate between the 1/8 inch Luan, and then you've got a sheet of Luan stuck to the foam, and a sheet of Luan stuck to the Phylon, and there's only 3 sheets, and then the center sheet's loose. And here again, that middle one right by the antenna, I believe, was our main culprit. And then we also had some issues. I think here we had some water come in, and it ran along the foam, and it just didn't have much sealant. But I will say, what sealant they didn't put in the back, they put in the front. We like never got that thing off. All right, if you have any questions or need to know something, I'm not a RV tech. I just did this on for myself, but it was quite an experience. And I will say that James at AZ Experts really gives you a lot of good information. It was valuable to me. All right, have a good day. See you. Okay guys, there's my solution for attaching this to the sidewall. Instead of just putting screws, you can kind of see the escutcheons I put on there with the covers. I did use stainless screws, so in case it gets wet, something wet back there, it won't rust them out. But if you kind of take a look, let me back up a little bit. And if we go over here to the cap in the back where they did it originally, you can see it kind of matches. And I thought that was pretty good. So that's what I ended up doing. Okay guys, I'm doing another sound reduction thing, I hope. I had some of this heat shield left over, some scrap. And on the pieces that go on the outside, when I redid the roof, I had to take them off. Come on out, let's take over and I'll show it to you. And so I thought about it, seeing how these pieces left over, that I would add this insulation to see if it reduced noise around the edge of the windshield. So basically, this piece goes right there, right where that bar is, and there's really not much there. So I did one already. I put this one on, and it has this heat shield along with the noise reduction, and it's impervious to water and heat. So I thought I'd give it a try, see if it helps any. I don't know if it'll help or not, but I thought I'd try it.